Well, Watches and Wonders 2025 is officially kicked off, and as usual, the first day is all about what Rolex has put out. Let's get some of the boring stuff out of the way. The Sky Dweller has a green dial, looks good. The Sprite left-handed GMT is now in white gold, so it looks exactly the same, but it's more expensive, heavier, and probably easier to get. But if you like the white gold and the stealth wealth of it, it's there for you now. There's also a red dial Datejust with diamonds all around it. Doesn't feel like that needs its own press release, but there you go. The Oyster Perpetual has 3 new colors. They're really pretty and muted. They're a lavender for the 28 millimeter, a sand colored one for the 36 millimeter, and the 41 millimeter Oyster Perpetual gets this nice pistachio dial. And actually the Oyster Perpetual 41 is a slightly reworked case and a slimmer clasp on it. No one's really gotten too much of a hands-on to really see what the differences are, but it has new model number, and the dials have all been reset with just that pistachio, a black, and a blue being available. So all of those beautiful colors that were there a few years ago for the Oyster Perpetual 41 are now gone. So everyone out there who's been waiting for years to get the right color for the Oyster Perpetual that they've been wanting, congratulations, they're all discontinued, and Rolex doesn't care about you. Going back to the GMT, the Root Beer All Gold GMT also got a new dial in what's called Tiger Iron. Originally, a lot of people thought this was Tiger Eye, but it's actually Tiger Eye mixed with red jasper and hematite. The pictures on it, I think I'd rather see Tiger Eye on this versus whatever this is, but maybe that's the pictures. As we see more of them come out, this dial might look really good in person. Rolex tends to be pretty spot on their stone dials, so I think this will probably look better the more pictures we see of it. For a less original dial, the Gold Daytona now has a Tiffany blue dial. It's been a few years. I thought the Tiffany blue thing was over, but here comes Rolex keeping it going. The real news out of Watches and Wonders for Rolex is the Land Dweller. The watch actually leaked a day ahead of time, so a lot of people have been talking about it, pro and con, what they really think about it for over a day now, and I think the overall opinion is, My personal opinion is it looks like a Rolex Explorer snuck into the Swatch Group, had a one-night stand with a Tissot PRX, and this is what came out. It's the bastard child of those two. I get that the case comes from the Oyster Quartz line, but the flat link bracelet is something that's new, and I don't think it looks good. I think it looks very derivative. It looks like a Tissot PRX or something from Timex. The thick outer brushed links and the polished middle that is actually raised, which means that the polished middle is going to get a lot of scratches on it, is just... it's not a great look on this watch. If they kept with a typical Jubilee, it might have looked better, or an Oyster, or even the old Oyster Quartz bracelet that looked something completely different than anything else Rolex has done. Those all I think would have been better choices. That's really what lets this thing down. And as an integrated sports watch at $15,000 starting point for the steel version, there's no micro adjust, and that is a cardinal sin at that price point. There should be a micro adjust in every new integrated bracelet that comes out. There should be a micro adjust on just about any bracelet at that price range. So that's just a miss. You have a chance to create a whole new bracelet, and it just feels like you missed on the design and you missed on putting a micro adjust in it. And then we get to the dial, and this honeycomb dial is something that feels like it's left over from the early 90s Rolex dials that we all got away from, those computer dials and these different texture dials that nobody liked. And I don't think this one looks good either. And they're definitely stuck to it as the counterbalance on the second hand matches that. I think overall, people are going to buy this watch because it's a Rolex, and Rolex can sell anything to anybody because that's how powerful their brand is. For me though, this ain't it, at least on the outside. Now on the inside, Rolex has brought something to market that it deserves to be applauded for, which is a direct impulse escapement that is being built at scale, something that's never been done before. Every time somebody's come up with this kind of escapement, whether it be F.P. Journe or Laurent Ferrier, or going back to Breguet, the man himself, They have to be made at small scale, handmade, precise. They are never industrialized, and they're always very finicky. They are not good at taking bumps and hits and bruises. And we don't know if Rolex will be good at that because this is the first time it's coming out. We can assume by Rolex's standards that it will probably be pretty good, but we'll see. It's a 5 hertz, which is high frequency movement, something Rolex has never done, even when they had the Zenith El Primero that is a naturally high beat movement in the Daytona. They tuned it down so it would be more reliable. Now, the idea is a direct impulse escapement should have less friction, less need for lubrication, and should be more reliable in the long run if it works. The problem is no one's really gotten it to work that well. So we will see if Rolex does a good job on this. There are a lot of people writing about this escapement and this movement saying it is the next generation, it's the future, it's going to be great, it's going to change everything. That's very optimistic. My opinion is we'll see, because my experience with Rolex the last 5-10 years is their movements have actually become less reliable. You hear more stories about people having to bring their watches in for service in 4 or 5 years versus the 10-15 years. The service intervals have become shorter. The watches aren't as reliable as they were previously as they're trying to push the technology. So the question is are they trying to push the technology too far, too fast, so that they can say that they are doing it at the expense of that tried and true reliability that they've had for their entire existence, to be honest? I may just be pessimistic. I may be realistic on this, but if this movement is as good as everyone hopes it is, and it really creates a longer lasting, more reliable watch, fantastic. It's only good for all of us, and I'm glad Rolex finally put their financial and R&D might into something new and interesting. So we'll see. I think it's certainly interesting. I think it's certainly Rolex, for the first time in a long time, showing that they have the budget and the know-how to do things that others can't, because they really haven't done that in the past. They've left it to the independents and the high end to do that. But we'll see. I think the watch looks like a hot mess and a spare parts bin, but the movement certainly is not a spare parts bin movement. We'll see where that movement goes. This watch, I don't think, is an instant classic. Rolex will have time to refine it and tune it. Eventually, it may turn into something that people like, or it may turn into the Sky Dweller that is not the most well-loved watch, but does have its fans. That was it for Rolex and Watches and Wonders 2025. Check out our other videos from the brands and what they brought for this year's Watches and Wonders. Thank you.